we put our bodies through. But really the stress of the mind and the stress of the heart that's been so prevalent, especially over the last 6 months, we could argue over the last 4 years, we could argue over the last decade, however long back it goes for you. And to me, what I have found and what Laura and I have found, and Laura is just as much of this as, is that it's so important and so effective to let go, right? To be able to let go completely and to almost break down a little bit before we start to build again. So this process tonight, although you will be learning a lot of new stuff, right? And there will be new techniques and new things to remember or whatever, try and let that go. You can always come back. You can watch the recordings if there's specific stuff that you want to revisit. And for tonight, allow yourself to just be in a very soft and receptive space, at least as much as you can be, right? I know that that's difficult, especially as somebody who is prone to pushing, right? Prone to pushing through. That's kind of always been my default setting. But you can change your default setting a little bit. It's amazingly freeing when you do. So I've really found that allowing yourself to have a practice, allowing myself to have a practice that does the work of releasing tension from the body and releasing tension from the mind, that is daily or every other day or weekly or whatever it is, whatever frequency, is so, so important, right? The next step always begins by leaving the last. We move step by step. And that is really the definition of vinyasa that I have been working with for the last 2 years, right? Moving step by step. But in order to move forward, we have to leave the place that we were as well. And I titled this whole weekend, Untangling the Knot, right? Because we bring in so much of this need to hold on. So whether that's holding on to information that we get just in our yoga practice, holding on to information that is coming through the news cycle that we're trying to remember or trying to deal with and process, it ties us up in knots. It ties our body up in knots. It ties our mind up in knots, which I'm sure all of you feel. It ties our heart up in knots. And yoga is the practice of untangling the knot. Yoga is the practice of letting go and purification of the heart. And I know that I've said that several times before in classes. It's one of those mantras that I always come back to for myself, but yoga is the purification of the heart. So this is the work of the ancient yogis, and yoga only recently became a thing not only that we do, but a thing that we show we do, right? With our clothes and with our water bottles and with our super cool yoga mats and our little Om stickers on the minivan or whatever you have. But it is ultimately an internal practice. And this weekend is about bringing that practice inward again, right? I know that so many of you have been practicing this way, starting to practice this way. And this is just another way into that. So we will move very slowly and we'll move very purposefully. But it doesn't mean that we're moving with tension, and it doesn't mean that we're leaving a relaxed state. We're just allowing this to be almost a meditative practice, right? So we're bringing a little bit of movement into what would also be an appropriate stillness practice. So to begin tonight, I'd like to share the story of the evening of the Buddha's awakening. And this to me feels so appropriate for right now. And here's why. So on the evening of the Buddha's awakening, he was sitting under the Bodhi tree, and Mara, who is this sort of demon-esque type figure. He's sort of the foe of the Buddha, but not really. He also really helped the Buddha along his path. Mara shows up and tries to tempt him with all of the wonderful things in life, like sensuality and craving and wonderful foods. And the Buddha says no. And the Buddha sits still and is there. And he's like, you can't tempt me. And so the Mara is frustrated by this, and he leaves. And then Mara comes back, and Mara brings all of his demons with him. Mara brings fear and greed and delusion to try and confuse the Buddha on his path to enlightenment. And the Buddha, in his clarity, says, no, you cannot distract me. And in saying that, he reaches down and touches the earth. And he says, I have a right to be here. And Mara's like, no, 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 I certainly am the person who should be sitting under the Bodhi tree. I have all of the things that show that I am enlightened. And the Buddha says, I am enlightened. And he touches the earth and says, who will be my witness? And Mother Earth calls back and says, I will be your witness. And it's especially touching to me that the Buddha, on the eve of his enlightenment, reaches down and touches the earth, because it points to the fact that he doesn't look outside of himself. He doesn't look to the heavens. He doesn't look to anything that is ethereal or unknown. He looks to this thing that is solid and that our bones and our flesh and our blood are made of. And that is how he knows that he can move on, right? That's how he attains his enlightenment finally, is with the earth. And this practice tonight is about us connecting with the earth in ourselves, and connecting with that grounded, stable force that is inherent to each of us and lives within each of us without challenge. It's native. And I think that that's really beautiful. So I'm excited for this, and I hope you're excited as well. And let's just sit for 1 minute, and then we'll begin on our backs. So we'll just take a couple of collective breaths together, however you're comfortable to be. Go ahead and close your eyes when you're ready. And we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and let go. We'll take another deep breath in. And open the mouth to release. You might gently join your palms to heart center, or place a hand on your heart, or both hands on your heart, whatever feels natural to you. Take a moment to recognize why you're here. Not even necessarily what you hope to receive or hope to get or take, but just what brought you to your mat, and what brought you to this group. And if you'd like to join in the sound of Om, please take a deep breath in through your nose. You can release your arms, allow your eyes to open. Okay, so first things first, let's take a blanket and just spread it out on your mat like I have here. So if you have practiced with me in the last 6 months or so, we've been doing this a bit. So we'll start here and then go ahead and come down onto your back. Just beginning in Shavasana. If you have a hair tie-in, you may want to adjust it so it's not right in the center of your head, because your head needs to be able to relax fully down on the ground. You can also just take your hair out. That's usually the best thing to do. So once you come down onto the ground, allow yourself to just be in whatever your natural position is. You don't need to adjust or fuss. Really allowing yourself to let go of the need to constantly fix yourself, to constantly change or do it right. And we'll begin with a question that will come back to time and time again in this work. That's, where can I let go? So where can you let go physically right now? Can you release a little bit through the feet? And as you allow your awareness to come through the feet into the ankles, can you allow your ankles to release? Can you allow your calves to release? Can you feel your quads and your hamstrings release? The upper leg, the thigh. And take a moment to notice any tension through the hips, through the back of the hips, through the lowest reach of the belly. Notice any holding in the abdomen. And is it possible to allow your breath to move a little more fluidly, a little more freely? And letting go of any sense of regulated breath, of ujjayi, of needing the in-breath and the out-breath to be the same. And let it be your native breath. And noticing through the chest, through the upper back. Is there anything there that you can let go of right now? And letting go is as simple as releasing the clench. Maybe scanning down through the upper arm, the forearms. Scanning through the hands and the palms. And noticing the throat, the neck. Feeling those delicate tissues of the throat soften and widen. And letting the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Noticing the jaw. Letting the ears drop. Feeling the eyes almost as though they're gelatinous, and let them rest back into their sockets. And even noticing the sense of the brain softening and dropping back. And what can I let go of now? What thoughts can I let pass by? And allowing yourself to feel your body as a whole system, as one whole organism, one whole unit, and feeling the bones drop. Feeling the skin drop. And just one or two more breaths here. If you choose to open your eyes for this work on the ground, that is totally fine. But allow your gaze to remain really soft. And we'll gently bend one knee at a time. Bring your feet to the floor. And feet just grounded. Maintaining that sense of heaviness through the pelvis. And go ahead, allow your arms to come in by your sides. You really don't need to change very much. So really gently, we'll inhale and lift the navel towards the ceiling. And let the back of the neck get longer. And as you exhale, draw the navel towards the floor. And again, we'll inhale, navel towards the ceiling. And then exhale, navel to floor. So just doing this really simple movement. Inhaling as you tilt the pelvis forward. For those of you who know that terminology, the anterior tilt. And exhaling into posterior tilt. So with this very limited range of movement, right? Allow yourself to feel the nuances of the spine moving in this way. The ripple effect as the pelvis tilts forward and back. You might feel the weight of the feet change. You might feel the angle of the neck change. Can you let that go a little bit more? And can you continue to let go of the breath, which is probably the hardest part for many of us, as trained in a flow vinyasa style as we are. And allow the autonomic nervous system to just be as it is. Riding the wave of the breath, and then letting yourself move. And your pace is your pace. You can move quicker or slower. You can linger somewhere if it feels really nice or really interesting. And as you come back to neutral, go ahead and bring your arms up. Interlace your hands behind your head. So fingers are interlaced, elbows are nice and wide. And we just add a little bit more, still staying really soft and relaxed as you inhale, navel towards the ceiling. Go ahead and press your elbows into the floor. And then as you exhale, navel to spine, let your head be heavy and let your arms carry your head, your neck, and your shoulders away from the floor. And then inhale as you lower down, elbows wide. And breathing into that big belly. And then exhaling, gently curling up. So it looks like an old-fashioned setup, and you can just continue moving. Looks like an old-fashioned setup, but what we're really doing is remapping the neural pathways in the body, right? So we're inviting a little bit more connection each time we pass through. So you're asking yourself, what's happening here, right? What happens when I press my elbows down? How does that feel through the shoulders, the upper back? And as I draw my elbows together, how does that help me round the spine even more? So just continuing to move. You might allow your neck to move a little more freely. So as you pull the navel up towards the ceiling, allow the head to move almost back towards a fish pose. And then exhaling and again rounding. Just inviting more space between each vertebrae, each facet joint. Letting the breath be natural. And we'll introduce another movement. So as you lower down, as the elbows go wide, go ahead and widen the legs as well, almost like butterfly legs. Navel towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, legs move together, elbows move together, spine rounds. And inhale, opening up. Nice. You don't have to push into your maximum range. And in fact, avoid doing that. Allow yourself to find little edges along the way. So you might find some interesting stuff through the outer hip, through the inner groin. Letting your body remain in this heavy, earthy state. Really letting gravity do its work of drawing us down. And if you notice any yawns happen, let your yawn happen. Very often when I'm doing this work and not talking through it, yawning very naturally happens for me. That's just fatigue leaving the body. Oh, one or two more of these here. And as you lower back down, go ahead, lengthen out the body, arms by your sides, lengthen the legs, and pause in Shavasana, just for 10 seconds or so. Notice any tingling, right? Any vibration, any little rushes moving through the body. All right, staying in this Shavasana or Supta Tadasana-like position, go ahead and turn your feet up towards the ceiling. So toes turn up to the ceiling, heels are still touching the ground. And we'll lengthen just the right leg away. And then go ahead and relax fully. Lengthen the left leg away. For those of you who have SI difficulty, this is a really wonderful thing. Go ahead and let that go. And right leg reaches. So just marching side to side, let it be really simple. And left leg reaches. Just alternating sides, feeling one hip rise and the other hip lower. You might feel some stickiness somewhere in here. This is really the dorsal sheath of the fascia, so the back side of the fascia, the side of the fascia opening, really where we're focused this evening. Lateral side and dorsal side. And just moving side to side. And as you come back through the center, go ahead and reach your arms long alongside your ears. So arms and legs are both relaxed on the ground, giving our weight to gravity. And as we reach the right leg away, go ahead and reach the right arm away as well. And take a breath into that right side of the body, the right lung. And then relax. And then left leg, left arm, reach away. And go ahead and relax. And just go ahead and let yourself stay totally on the ground as you do this. So you're just sliding right heel, right hand away from you, but they're still touching the ground. And then sliding left leg, left arm away. It's really similar to just being a little snake, right? We're just slithering around on the ground. And your head might loll side to side as you do this. Again, you might feel a little sticky, a little stuck. You are welcome to pause and linger anywhere you want to. You might get some really enjoyable clicks through the shoulder, the neck, or the low back. All right. Any of these things you could continue to do for minutes on end, but we'll go ahead and interlace the hands behind the head again. And we'll continue this work now by reaching the right elbow away, reaching the right foot away. So taking yourself into a little bit of spinal lateral flexion or extension. And then coming back to center. Reaching left heel away, reaching left elbow towards the wall behind you. And coming back to center. So really now starting to milk and squeeze the organs of the body, of the torso. And back to center. And left elbow reaches towards that wall behind you. Left foot reaches towards the wall in front of you. And back through center. And again, pause anywhere you need to pause. You are welcome to come into Shavasana at any point. And as you're ready to, go ahead and once again drop the arms by the sides. Let the legs relax, let the legs turn out. And pause for 10 or 20 seconds here in Shavasana. Noticing the sensation of the body as a whole. Okay, so with legs nice and long still, can keep your arms by your sides really simply, just like you're moving into a tree pose with your legs. Brush the right foot along the inseam of the left leg. And then we'll lift the knee towards the ceiling, right foot to the floor, and slide that leg away. So again, turn the right leg out, slide the foot along the inseam of the left leg, just letting it be heavy. And then we'll bring the right foot to the floor, slide that foot away again. Just a few more on this side. Feeling the work of the hip, letting yourself be really soft. Nice. So you can go either way. You can drag the foot up the inseam of the leg with the knee bent out to the right, or you can reverse the movement, right? And then bend the knee to the ceiling first, slide your foot along the floor, and then take your leg to the right. Slide down the leg. Just experimenting, seeing what feels good. It's really nice to brush the inner leg. It really encourages lymphatic return. And when that right leg is long again, just switch the other side, bending left knee out to the side, sliding the foot along the inner thigh, and bringing that foot to the floor and sliding your leg away. Don't worry so much if you're doing it right. Don't worry if you're building muscle or whatever it is that might be going through your mind right now. Always so much. You're simply here just experimenting, right? Feeling your body in this way that we don't often do. Oh, if you've been trying it one way on the left side and you'd like to reverse that movement, go ahead and do that. Maybe you're ready to pause in Shavasana. And as that left leg straightens, go ahead and bend your right knee again. And take your leg out to the side and we'll swing it across the body. Okay, so now rolling to that outer left hip and just let it be really simple, really chill. Let the hips come back and lengthen that right leg. So again, we'll bend the knee to the side, draw the foot up the inner thigh, bring the foot to the floor, and then swing that right leg across the body. So we're just going to stay on the right side to start with. And come all the way back to center, slide that leg long. And again, bend the knee. So we're just moving kind of in and out of tree pose and then adding a little bit of a twist as you roll to the outer edge of that left hip. Feel that little bit of twist through the spine, then lengthen the leg. And just one or two or three more here, really whatever feels good. As you're taking that knee across the body, try giving an in-breath, right? In a place where we normally give an exhalation. So breathing into the fullness of the belly, breathing into the back. And then exhaling as the leg goes long again. And as you're ready to switch the other side, drawing that left foot along the inseam of the right leg. And planting the foot and then swinging it across the body. Almost starting to flop around like a catfish, right? Or like a flounder. This is so casual. Let go of any rigidity. Let go of any concern if you're doing it right. You are moving in your rhythm, nobody else's. Your breath is doing what your breath is doing. And you're noticing what's happening in your body. as you come back to the center, go ahead and relax both legs. Pause again in Shavasana, noticing any sensation that might be new. And this is the work of the subtle body. Right? These are the nadis and the energy channels opening up. And the meridians flowing with prana. And once again, we'll bend both knees, bring the feet to the floor. You're welcome to take your arms out to the side if that feels comfortable and good to you. And very simply, we do this a lot. Go ahead and let your knees drop to one side. And take an in-breath here, linger here. And then as you exhale, lead back with that top side hip to the floor. And then we'll let the knees drop to the other side. Inhaling into it, even pressing into the left foot or the top leg foot. And then coming all the way back. And just dropping side to side. Inviting a sense of spaciousness now into the lower belly, right? Into our reproductive area, into the intestines, the kidneys. And pausing anywhere you need to pause. And as you're ready to move side to side again, move side to side. This work is so nice. Any of these things you could really spend a lot of time on. But as you're ready to, we'll come back to the center. Both knees bent, feet on the floor. And let's go ahead and cross the right leg over the left. Okay, so if this ends up being too much on your back or on your hip, go back to what we were just doing. Otherwise, we'll let the knees fall to the right. So we're falling to the same side as the top leg. And then inhale here and come back through the center. Again, leading with that left hip as you draw back. And we'll inhale into this movement, letting the knees drop to the right, filling the belly, feeling the viscera with air, with breath, and all the way back to center. And again, just moving on your rhythm, pausing where you need to pause. You might even reach that left arm away from you a little bit. And coming back as you're ready. This is opening, right? That lateral sheath of fascia that runs all the way from the outer ankle up through the IT band or the side waist. We might let the neck move more freely, even rotating to the left here. And just one or two more on this side. As you're ready, unwinding the legs, switching sides. And again, we'll let the knees drop to the left. Arch into the back, so important to restore that natural arch of the low back, and then coming back to the center. And oftentimes with this, I like to move in and out a bit a few times and then pause a little bit more after I've done that. But that's just experimentation, and do what's right for you. Oh, as you let the knees fall to the left, you might start to reach through the right arm a little bit more. You might let the head fall to the right. You might pause and take an extra breath or two. This might be a place where you get a yawn. A lot of us store so much tension through the waist, through the side hip. And one or two more of these. Or maybe you're lingering somewhere. And as you feel ready to, go ahead and unwind the legs. Drop the weight to the ground, bring your arms by your sides, and pause in Shavasana. Now really feeling fluids of the body moving through, feeling the winds of the body move through. And those tinglings and vibrations are evidence of the air element in the body. And just letting yourself drop. And then bending both knees, go ahead and turn to one side. It doesn't really matter which side. Back up. And you may also like having your strap handy. So we'll bring the arm up, the bottom side arm up, and just use that as a pillow. Okay. So with both knees bent, go ahead and lengthen out your top leg. You can reach down if your proportions work for this. You can reach with your hand, you can reach with a strap, but go ahead and make connection with the foot. And just pause here. Nice. And we'll now reach that right hand down. Okay. Or bottom side arm, hand down. So both hands are either holding the strap or holding the foot. And go ahead and round the spine into this. Rounding the spine is so soothing for the nervous system. And still holding that foot with the bottom side hand. Go ahead and reach your top arm up. And we'll open up just like you're butterflying yourself, like your little shrimp butterfly. And opening into a nice big twist, and take a breath or two there. And again, as you're ready, we'll close that twist, joining that top arm to the foot again, rounding the spine. And then reaching the top arm up, opening up into a nice big open twist, and take an in-breath here. Right? Maybe take 2 or 3 in-breaths here, opening up through that lung. Beginning to soften through the diaphragm, stretching the diaphragm a bit. And as you're ready, go ahead and come all the way back. Okay, and we'll start to lengthen out that bottom leg as well. So now you're in a side-lying Paschimottanasana or side-lying forward fold. So either both legs captured in the strap or both legs held onto with the hands. And go ahead and curl the head in, reach back through the back body. I know rounded spine is not the usual instruction for yoga, but let your spine round. It's made to do this. Oh, just going ahead, letting that go. Bending the knees and flopping all the way over to the other side. So that bottom side arm acts as your pillow. And go ahead and lengthen the top leg. Capture that foot with your hand or the strap. And then pausing here. And you will likely feel this through the outer hip, the IT band. Maybe even all the way down to the outer ankle. It's a big movement for anybody with lateral hamstring tightness. All right, as you're ready, go ahead and capture that foot or the strap with your bottom hand. And we'll reach the top arm up and open up into a nice big twist. And pausing, taking a breath. And then exhaling to come all the way back. And again, we'll reach the top arm up. Open into a nice big twist. And pausing for a breath or two or three. Really, you can move through this more rhythmically or you can pause. Do what feels right for you. And whatever's going to facilitate sensation through the body. Right? Curiosity peaked. All right, and eventually we'll all meet back, side lying one more time. Go ahead and lengthen the bottom leg as well. So capturing both feet with the hands or the strap. And then allowing yourself to round. So as the legs are long, the spine is long and rounded, and the head is tucked in. Noticing maybe any swells of breath. Any rushes of heat through the body or cool. And then gently release your hands. Go ahead, come back to the center. And the last time we'll be in Shavasana here for a little bit. Go ahead and lengthen your legs, drop your arms. Just pausing and noticing. And reach one arm alongside your ear. And you'll roll to that side. Come all the way onto your belly. And stack your hands underneath your forehead. From here, we'll bend one knee. So again, doesn't really matter which knee is bent. Bend one knee and bring it up almost into like a half frog position.
All right. And then from here, we'll draw that knee. So try to slide that knee closer to your opposite leg, and you'll feel the bent knee, leg, hip lift up towards the ceiling, and then slide it away. Really great for introducing some space into any cranky SI joints. Again, we'll pull the knee towards the pelvis, letting that hip lift, and then reach it away. So pulling in and reaching away. And again, experiment with your breath. What does it feel like to inhale into this movement? What does it feel like to exhale into this movement? I think we can just get so rigid with how we move and wanting to do it right, and wanting everything to be just so. But let it be a little bit messy. Let it be a little sloppy. It doesn't matter. Experiment. Play. And as you're ready to, after the last one or two, we'll lengthen out that leg. Pause here. Feeling almost the diamond shape of the lower back. Spreading, releasing, moving wider. And we'll bend the opposite side leg. Just off to the side, kind of like a half frog position. And as you inhale, pull that knee towards you, lifting the hip. Knee stays on the ground the whole time. And then slide it away. Just moving in and out like this, pulling the knee in, hip lifting up, introducing a lot of space for that sacroiliac joint, and sliding away. And see if there's anywhere you can let go. Maybe you have a little tension through the jaw, through the shoulders, maybe through the pinky toe. And one or two more on this side. And as you're ready, go ahead and lengthen that leg. Pausing again. Just a nice belly down Shavasana. Right. And gently moving the hands out of the way of the head. Try to leave your head really heavy. So you use your hands and arms to help you come into a child's pose with the knees together. Right. No arms nice and long. With the knees together, we're just introducing a little more space into the back. You can let the head drape. You can bring your head to the back of the hands if that's comfortable. All right. And we'll slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let your arms drape. Back your hips up. Rolling up, rolling up, rolling up. And letting the head be the last thing to lift. And floor time is over for the moment. How was that? Nice, nice. Okay, and you can go ahead, take your blanket and just fold it up. And place that off to the side for the moment. Okay, great. Go ahead and come onto hands and knees. So spreading the hands nice and wide, tuck the toes and reach the hips back, keeping the knees bent for the moment for downward facing dog. All right, so now that we've introduced a lot of mobility through the body in a way that we're using gravity to our advantage, we're going to start to build some strength through these joints now. So with the knees bent, try to send the ankle crease back a little bit more. Feet are hip distance and parallel. You can also take them wider if you want a little more space for your back. And then we'll send the thighs up and back. Send the heels down and back. And really give yourself enough room so that your heels don't touch the ground. Right? Well, again, bend the knees. So here's that dorsal fascia again, that dorsal fascia line. Go ahead and try to send the heels back. Try to send the thighs up and back and feel the entire sheath of the back of your leg. And we'll take a few breaths here, rooting through the hands, rooting through the feet. Letting the eyes soften, letting the brows soften. Okay, go ahead and bring the knees to the ground. Step your right foot forward just so we're all kind of on the same side. And then you'll turn and pivot your left leg back just a little bit, or left knee back, left foot back. Okay. So go ahead and come up so you're standing. One foot down. This is just such a joyful thing to do. Okay. And we'll bring that right elbow to the knee. So it's just a Parsvakonasana, just a kneeling version of Parsvakonasana. Reach that top arm up, turn the palm, and then nice big side bend. Okay, so we're still lifted through the right side body, and then bring the right hand down to the ankle. You are certainly welcome to grab a block as well. Good. And then just instead of looking up towards the ceiling, which we so often do, go ahead and either look forward or look down. Just letting the inseam of that right leg really open up as you press the arm into the leg and spiral the body so you can feel this spiralic movement of the spine, the chest, the torso, everything moving in the direction of the ceiling. Oh, just another breath here. And then releasing the hands down again. Nice. Come back to hands and knees. You can step your left foot forward. Go ahead and bring that right foot behind. Come up. And then left elbow to the knee. Right arm reaches up and over. So this may be enough for you. If you'd like to, though, slide your left hand down to the ankle or to a block. And then we'll press the arm into the inside of that leg, into the inner knee. And let this do the work. So just without being in such a strong balancing pose like we would if we were standing, it allows that inner groin to open a little more. So feel as you send the knee back, this spiralic movement through the spine, through the torso, through the chest. Let the head and the neck release. Let them soften. And breathe into the volume of the belly, the volume of the lungs. And we'll exhale and release both hands to the ground. Go ahead and step your left knee back. Again, we'll tuck the toes, reach the hips up and back, bent knees for the moment. And as you slide the fronts of the ankles back, feel the heels reach back, feel the tops of the thighs reach back. And we'll simply walk our feet up to meet the hands. Take as many or as few steps as you like. Feet hip distance in parallel for this evening. Go ahead and let your knees bend. And let the spine drape. You might take a hold of opposite elbows. You might gently draw the elbows down. And releasing the arms, bring your hands to your hips. Elbows point to the ceiling. And then as you spike down through your feet, go ahead and lift up to Samastitihi or Tadasana, just releasing the arms. And then just a little breath with movement. On your in-breath, reach the arms up, lift the chest, feel the feet connect down. And as you exhale, fold forward. I'd go ahead and bring fingertips to shins. Inhale as you lift halfway. Imagine this like down dog with the thighs back. And then exhale as you fold. And once again, we spike down through the feet. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Lift the chest. And exhale as you release your arms. This is really simple rhythm. Inhale to reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward, knees bent. Bring fingertips to shins. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. And then exhale, bring the hands to the ground. Step all the way back to Dandasana, plank pose. Right? And in a plank pose, we're just pausing here for a moment. I know so many of us are used to moving through a vinyasa. We will get there. But for now, I want you to feel that connection of the back of the legs lifting towards the ceiling, right? Of the heels pulling back, of the tops of the thighs lifting up. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Let's inhale and come forward to a plank pose again. And exhale to downward facing dog. And inhale forward to plank. Just moving really slowly, really mindfully with awareness. And exhale to downward facing dog. All right, we'll step the right foot forward between the hands. Turn and ground the left foot. And inhale, come all the way up to stand. So you can go ahead and lengthen that right leg. Okay. So reach the right arm up. Get super long. Left hand can come to your hip for the moment. And as you exhale, reach forward, reach forward, reach forward as you tilt forward. So you're really long through the side of the waist. And then right hand to an ankle, to a block, wherever you need it to be. Go ahead and reach the left arm high. Okay. So in the same way, feel as though you could press that arm into a leg behind you, even though it's not there now. Go ahead and turn the chest, turning the chest, turning the chest. So we're not trying to open the top hip more. We're trying to rotate the chest more. Right? And then let the head, let the neck be soft. You can even look down to the floor. You can let the head be totally heavy if you want. We're just breathing here. One more.
Feeling that connection of big toe through the inner thigh. Feeling a sense of the rivers of the inner right leg opening up, opening up. And then on your in-breath, rise all the way up. Good, we'll bend the right knee. Nice, and moving into Parsvakonasana. So as you exhale, reach forward, and pause on the elbow first. Reach the left arm up and over. Okay. And we'll bring the right hand down to that right inner ankle, just like we did with the knee on the floor. Send that arm back, send that leg back, and open up through the chest. So feel the chest starting to move in a spiral. And let the head relax. Notice where you're holding. Okay, and then give this a try. This is pretty funky. Bend your left knee a little bit, and then start to straighten through that left leg. So we're just gonna pump the back leg like that. Most of our attention goes to the front leg automatically. Bring more to the back leg. So just pumping, pumping. And this compression through the front hip, right? In a moment, we're gonna flush it with fresh blood, fresh synovial fluid. So on your in-breath, press down through the feet, come all the way up, lengthen that leg. Very nice, and we'll just turn, switch the feet. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring right hand to your hip, reach the left arm up. Inhale to get super, super tall. And then as you exhale, reach forward, reach forward, reach forward. And then hand to the shin, to the ankle, to a block. Okay. And from here, if you'd like to reach your right arm up, reach your right arm up, growing longer in every direction. Nice. Again, don't stress about alignment. We have plenty of time to talk about stuff of that nature. But for right now, I just want you to feel into your body. Right? Can you feel the feet pressing down? Can you feel the connection of the left big toe mound through the left inner thigh? So the more you root down through left big toe, the more that inner thigh channel starts to open up. And then on your in-breath, root through the feet, lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. We'll bend the left knee. And then reach forward, elbow to knee to start, right arm up and over the ear for Utthita Parsvakonasana. Okay. So if you want to stay here, stay here. If you'd like to, hand down to the shin or the calf or the ankle or block. And then again, pausing here, but bend your right knee. Okay. And then start to send the top of the thigh back. So again, we'll bend the right knee. This pumping action is so good. It's so valuable for moving blood, for moving lymph. And we want these systems strong in the body for immunity, for heart health, to bring fresh supplies to the whole system. Okay. Oh, just one more time. It's hard to hold poses, isn't it? And then once the leg is straight, come all the way back up. Nice, straightening both legs. Turn your feet so they're parallel. And then you may need to shorten up your stance a little bit and turn the toes in a little. Bring your hands to your hips. So on your in-breath, lift really tall. Lift the chest towards the ceiling, elbows reach back. And as you exhale, go ahead and fold forward. For Prasarita Padottanasana. Okay. Once we're here, let your hands come to the ground or to blocks, wherever you need to be. Lift up just about halfway. And we'll start on the right side. So once again, I'd like you to bend that right knee a little bit and then lengthen the leg. So we're rooting down, big toe mound is firmly rooted, but we're bending the knee. And starting to lengthen the leg.
Working through hip and knee and ankle. So once or twice more on this side. And we'll switch to the other side. So left leg now. Just bending and re-straightening the knee. It's not super technical. But in our rush to gain flexibility in the hamstrings especially, we often neglect the rest of the chain. When the body is working well, when it is working in symphony and able to maintain or to find homeostasis, that is where it becomes easier, right? Our sleep is good, our anxiety is down, digestion is good, we're assimilating food, we're assimilating the prana from what we eat, what we take in. So next time both legs are straight, go ahead and keep them straight. Reach back with your hands, and you can also leave your hands on the ground if you'd like. But if you want to, find your shins, your ankles, or find the outer edges of the feet. It's nice as well. And then lift up, inhale. And as you exhale, elbows nice and wide as you fold down. Letting the head drop. If you have a block nearby and you'd like to place it underneath the crown of your head, right at the fontanelle, that's great. You are welcome to do that. Or a blanket. And allowing your awareness to spread everywhere in the body. And then on your in-breath, go ahead and lift a little, release your hands. And we'll bring our hands to the hips. A little bend through the knees is always nice. And then inhale to come all the way up to stand. Good. Go ahead and step back to the front of your mat. Let your arms drop by your sides. And we'll inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale as you fold forward. Bring fingertips to shins. Inhale to lift halfway and lengthen. And then exhale as you step all the way back to downward facing dog. Let's inhale, come forward to a plank pose. And again, pause. Feeling thighs lift. And you can notice as the thighs lift, as the tops of the ankles reach back, the back of the leg gets longer, right? Can you lengthen the front body a little bit and reach the heart forward? And again, exhale to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, exhale. All right, bring the knees down. Go ahead and grab your blocks or your block-like objects. And just place them at the top edge of the mat. Okay? And I kind of like the medium setting. You can use whatever you like, but we just want to have them handy. So from downward facing dog, whenever you get there, again, we'll step the right foot forward between the hands. And then both hands on the blocks. Go ahead and lift the left leg up behind. So it's kind of like a warrior three, but with hands on blocks. Okay, and then we'll move to the outer hip now. So go ahead and turn, rotate the left toes to the right and let that inner left thigh touch and kiss the inner right thigh. And then come all the way back, turn the left toes to the left, lift the outer leg a little higher. And then we'll rotate the left toes down.
Rotate them all the way to the right. Inner thighs kiss and touch. You can feel the outer right hip at this point. And then use that outer right hip to come all the way back. Lift the left leg high. Nice, left toes pointed to the side. So that top leg, the left leg, is rotating in and out of internal and external rotation. And we're flossing the outer right hip. Right? So 1 or 2 more times here. Your outer hip muscles are generally neglected and incredibly supportive for your core, for your trunk, and for your pelvis, and therefore your back. Okay, and we'll come all the way back. Bend that front knee, step back, just downward facing dog. Letting yourself be still. Letting the head drop. And stepping the left foot forward between the hands. Hands to your blocks, and we'll go ahead and lift that right leg up behind. Okay, so left knee can have a little bit of a bend through it, that's totally fine. And once again, we'll start to rotate right toes to the left. Let that inner right thigh touch the inner left thigh. And then less in, lift toes to the right, and then come back. So right leg is now rotating internally, right? And then starting to rotate it externally as we lift up. So it's almost like we're moving from an exaggerated warrior 3 type posture with the legs to a half Ardha Chandrasana where the torso isn't turned. Just moving in and out, flossing through that outer left hip. And as you're ready to, we'll go ahead, bend the front knee, step all the way back, downward facing dog. Rooting through palms, rooting through feet. Feeling connection of the ground. Touching the earth, offering whatever it is we have to let go of. And then gently bringing the knees down. Go ahead and grab your blanket. If you have a bolster nearby and you prefer that, you can use a bolster or your cushion. But we'll sit on our little throne. Reach both legs forward. And then once we're all here, keep your right leg forward, bend your left knee. Turn the leg out from the hip, foot to inner thigh. Okay. Lift up nice and tall, and we'll even reach that left arm up. Okay, inhale. And then exhale as you fold. So cross your left hand across the toe, or you can use a strap as well, or you can hold the shin. Bring the right fingertips forward, and again, lift halfway. And then as you exhale, let yourself fold. Doesn't have to be the biggest fold of your life. And then just a little different, right? Just a little different than how we normally do this pose. Pull with your left hand, press down with your right hand, and introduce a little twist through the belly. And touching on QL. But really allowing
The fascia flows around each muscle fiber, around each muscle spindle and bundle, and then creates webbing that holds all of the organs into place. We're really encouraging that webbing to expand, right? To maintain its flexibility. And then gently inhale to come up. Good. And then really simply just bring that left foot to the floor. Wrap your right arm in front. We are going to work deeply into twists tomorrow, or more deeply into twists. Keep it light for tonight, okay? So with that arm in front, go ahead and plant your left hand or left fingertips behind, and then rotate. And if any of you are on your menstrual cycle or pregnant, then just take the twist the other way, right? So there's less compression on the belly. And just take it to like 70%. So not looking for the deepest twist ever. And once you've found that through the torso, go ahead and turn your head. Just letting your face start to turn towards that right foot. Feeling great full twist all the way through the neck. And where can you let go right now? Where can you soften a little more? And as you exhale, go ahead and unwind. Take that leg long. We'll bend the right knee, turn the leg out from the hip for a variation of Janu Sirsasana. Go ahead and reach your right arm up. As you exhale, fold forward, cross that hand across the top of the foot, and then hand to the floor, left hand to the floor. I talk about this like this is new. This is how I love practicing this pose. So we will pull on the right hand, press through the left hand, and then start to turn and twist. So again, don't go so far that you're like really pushing into it. Find those little edges, just like you did on your back, where you really gentle with yourself. Let this be gentle too. And we introduce the in-breath to gently massage from the inside out. And then slowly, gently unwinding. We'll go ahead and bring your right foot to the floor. And again, go the opposite way if you are on your cycle or pregnant. And otherwise, we'll hook that left elbow in front of the right knee, right hand behind, and then go ahead and turn and twist. And as I said, we'll move deeper through twists over the next couple of days. Let this be a gentle wringing and soaking. Once you have the torso more or less where it's going to be, go ahead and turn your head. Find that counter twist through the neck. Can you let go of your breath a little bit more? Can you let go of your push a little bit more? Feel the body give into gravity. That pliable, gelatinous quality.
And we'll gently come back through the center. Nice, unwinding, lengthen your legs. And then fingertips to the floor, lift tall. And as you exhale, you crawl your hands forward. If you have a block nearby and it works for your body, you can always place your head on a block if you like. Otherwise, hands could touch the feet. There's many ways to do this. Let yourself be in a restful forward fold. A block under the forehead is really nice. And allows the muscles of the neck to release, just supports the bones so the muscles don't have to. We'll take 2 or 3 more long, slow, deep breaths here. Letting the breathing naturally unwind again. And then slowly, slowly bring the hands back, helping yourself lift up. Good. Okay. You are welcome to come onto your back if you'd like to come onto your back. Otherwise, come to a comfortable seat. And we'll just spend a few minutes quiet and seated before Shavasana. If you're ready for Shavasana now, feel free. So again, let's take a deep breath in through the nose wherever you are. Open the mouth and exhale. Letting go control of the breath. Feeling the body rest down into the floor, like you're sitting in sand or earth. And can you feel the stability of the body, the stability of your seat? And the breath moving as the breath will. And the body fluid as it receives and releases the breath. And as the body is released, you'll feel the mind stabilize. A sense of ease. And if you'd like to, wherever you are, just gently introducing the lightest amount of direction for the breath. Maybe inhaling for a count of 2 or 3. Pausing. And then exhaling for a count of 2 or 3. And pausing. And almost creating a square shape with the breath. And you can increase your count to 4, 5. Really just no strain, no struggle. If you'd like to continue sitting, go ahead and continue to sit. If you're ready to transition to Shavasana, and I invite you to come onto your back, maybe sliding a blanket or a cushion under your knees. And letting yourself pause. Maybe getting a comfy blanket on top. And wherever you are, allow yourself to rest. The weight of the body, the weight of the world drops. Feeling the weight of your body against the ground. The connection between you and the earth. And connected to the life source within us, around us. Our deepest wisdom. You are welcome to take as long of a Shavasana as you like. But for now, this is where our practice formally ends. Well, as you're ready, and only when you're ready, gently roll to one side. And leave your head heavy as you use your hands and arms to come up to seated. And we gently join palms to heart center. Bow our chins to the river of the body and the river of the brain, the interconnectedness of us to ourselves, to all that surrounds us, to all beings. Thank you for your practice. Namaste, everybody.